A woman channeling the pain of her mother's death into art and helping others. Tomorrow evening in San Francisco's Chinatown, a book reading on how you avenge the death of your mother.
Well, nearly 30 years ago, Susan Liu's mom died as a result of plastic surgery malpractice. She dealt with the trauma through performance and art.
But the real healing began when she used that tragedy to help change nearly a 50-year-old California law that now gives victims of medical negligence a way to recoup real losses from pain and suffering.
Everyone knows the tragedy of the dead, but let's talk about the tragedy of the living.
How someone heals from trauma.
I felt scared.
Can come in many different forms.
Perhaps there was too much shame tied to how she died.
For Susan Liu, she found answers as a performing artist with a one-woman play, and most recently as an author with the release of her memoir, The Manicurist's Daughter.
Seeking the truth was how I would avenge my mother's death.
Her mother, Fong Ha, known by her American name Jennifer, had owned 2 nail salons, a Vietnamese immigrant who had made a life for her family in the Bay Area. But in 1996, while undergoing a tummy tuck and chin implant, she went into a coma and later died of a botched plastic surgery. The doctor had been at the center of multiple complaints, having his license suspended by the Medical Board of California. Where Susan made a trip to the San Francisco doctor's office, where her mom went in but never came out.
Sometimes I look back and I wish I could have prevented her from coming here. I've come to this building so many times looking for answers, and a part of me feels that I found that answer and now I can let it go.
Susan found that answer by turning trauma and tragedy into real change. At the time of her mother's death, there was a $250,000 cap set in 1975 in the state of California on the amount of money that injured patients and their families could recoup for pain, suffering, or even death.
Plastic surgery is a perfect example of this.
Carmen Balber with Consumer Watchdog had been fighting the cap for several decades.
Now, in 1975, $250,000 was actually a reasonable amount of money. Today, that amount is about $50,000 when adjusted for inflation. What that means is no attorney can afford to take a case that has only non-economic damages with that cap being so low.
When I was 11 years old, I lost my mother to medical negligence.
They recruited the help of victims and their family members, including Susan Liu, who testified and told her story to medical boards and lawmakers.
One of the most important ways that an organization like mine can make a change in the law is by telling the stories of families who are impacted.
And in 2022, they won the battle. Governor Gavin Newsom signing California Assembly Bill 35, the Fairness for Injured Patients Act, raising the cap families could recoup for medical negligence from $250,000 up to $1 million.
That's me leaving a legacy for my mother.
A legacy through activism and real change, while healing through performance and her art.
I wanted to know who she was and how I was like her. And most of all, I wanted to know if I could heal from this trauma.
By retelling the story of her mother, not just how she died, but how she continues to live.
And because of the statute of limitations, Susan Liu and her family will not benefit from that change in the law. As for the doctor who performed plastic surgery on her mother, he passed away back in 2014. Susan will now hold a reading, a book signing, and a discussion tomorrow night at the Great Star Theater. That will happen once again tomorrow night.